Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Hopefully you guys are all having a fantastic day. So I do apologize I haven't uploaded in quite a while. So I was supposed to get a video out today at 10 o'clock in the morning, so I recorded it yesterday. Everything was fine except then it couldn't process. It was like a technical error, so I couldn't get that to work, and I don't know even if this one will even go through. So if it does, that's a great success. If it doesn't, well, that's just you won't even know about this. So first off, I want to address something quickly. Today we're going to be talking about the fairly large snowstorm that will be occurring across the country. Very powerful. It has a lot of impacts. There's an ice storm warning. There's winter storm warnings. There are flood watches, flood warnings. It is absolutely a mix of precip, and it will continue to be a mix. And it'll be a continue to be a mix as we go on into the nighttime hours. So, the one thing I want to address is I've been lately getting quite a bit of mean, nasty comments about just a vast variety of things. So, if you're gonna leave something like that, saying that I can't forecast, saying that my forecasts are absolute BS, I've seen many nasty comments. You're gonna get blocked, and that's just unconditional. So I thought the weather community was better than this. I thought we could be able to support each other, but I guess not, and you'll be blocked, unfortunately, if you just decide to do so. So think before you actually speak. And also, I would like to say that I may be starting a gardening channel because some, not many, but the new ones, new people, new subscribers don't know, but I am a very big gardening fan, gardening fanatic, and I really love to garden. So even probably more than meteorology. So I may be starting a gardening channel. So that's just basically it. So let's just go right into this. We're looking at the GFS right now. We're getting a precip area, I should say, of precip with some sleet, some freezing rain, and an area of snow to the north. This passes through and isn't necessarily completely devastating or major. I would say the most major part about this system, this first wave, is the ice. We have an ice storm warning where I live in Chicago till around 6 o'clock in the morning. So schools may be canceled yet again for the fifth time this year, which is just ridiculous. I mean, 5 snow days in one year. You dream of those type of situations. So that passes through, but the actual storm, because this was kind of like the precursor wave, the main storm that made landfall in California a couple days earlier and brought snow to Seattle, Portland, many of those locations have seen snow, and I'll discuss that in just a minute. This same storm moves out into the plains, into the Midwest, and the good news is any ice that accumulates in the ice storm warning area will most likely melt as the rain will start falling Thursday, and that will melt most of the ice that did fall, and maybe a little bit of snow on the backside, but you could see a massive potential blizzard, or not blizzard, but very heavy snow. And blizzard, maybe, I mean, look at those isobars. That's fairly tightly packed. We could be looking at blizzard conditions Friday and Thursday. So definitely not out of the question. Very, very heavy snow, some decent amounts. Let's go to total snowfall accumulations and let's check them out. So I will show you the positive snow depth change also, because that one's a little bit more accurate. This one's assuming 10-to-1 ratio. Ignore the snow that's here in northern Illinois and even southern Michigan. That's mainly sleet and freezing rain, and the models just kind of take it up as snow. But this definitely, look at that, over foot of snow is definitely not out of the question. 10, 13, 14 inches of snow, definitely possible. Let's go to total positive snow depth change, and we could see it's fairly similar, just a little bit more snow to the north of Minneapolis, and you could see up almost into the Canada border with Minnesota, International Falls, and Duluth also seeing quite a bit of snow, but a little bit more increased with the snow depth. And look at this, look at it once it reaches into the other side of Lake Superior on Canada's side. I think Thunder Bay, maybe in one of these cities, is gonna be. And look at that. That blue is over 2 feet of snow. So quite a bit of snow is headed for these areas. Um, let's go to the NAM model right now. Let's see what the NAM has to say. The NAM is relatively good when it comes to these type of situations, though. it's good in the type of situations where it's with the rain and snow and freezing, but the track isn't always, pinned down. You can see it's a little bit messed up here. Has I mean, messed up. It's not agreeing with most of the models, which makes me think that it's wrong, but it could be right. A swath of snow here in South Dakota, extending from the Badlands all the way through into South Dakota and upper Minnesota, and then we get the same snow here in Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan and Minneapolis. Some areas around Minneapolis, we're going to see 10 inches snow plus by the end of this week, since they're already sorry about that. Since they're already seeing snow right now with that first wave. So let's see how the NAM plays it out in the rain slash frozen slash precip, since it has that weird swath of snow across the South Dakota, North Dakota area, which the other models don't. So this is what's happening right now. We're getting some sleet, freezing rain across the Chicago area. This passes through. We get that main storm, very similar to what the other models are showing. And see, I'm not buying that little strip of heavy snow that the NAM showed. There's just not much supporting evidence to that. We're gonna be seeing. Sorry, I do have a bit of a stuffed nose, but we're gonna be seeing mainly a broad area of snow, nothing really with banding. So it should be 3, 4, 5 inches, fairly widespread. I think the NAM overdid it a little bit. Let's go to the FV3 GFS. This is the parallel and soon to become operational model of the GFS, and let's see what it has to say about the storm. So same thing, first wave, freezing rain. Sorry, guys. Freezing rain, sleet, and snow into Wisconsin, UP of Michigan, and Michigan. And that passes through again. We see that second wave of the system, much stronger, much more precip, and just just has way more bulk to it. So actually, let's go to rain and frozen, because what we were just on was a different option, which I don't preferably technically, or I don't usually like. And again, still a little bit of snow on the backside Friday for areas like Illinois, Iowa, and southern Wisconsin is possible, but this will mainly be a Wisconsin and Minnesota and Iowa event. So let's see total snowfall. This does not have total depth and change for the FV3 GFS. Again, this will mainly be sleet here, though similar amounts, 9, 10, 11 outs. I would not be surprised if there will be many locations, several if not many locations, over a foot of snow. Let's go to the National Weather Service. So you can see my computer is about to die. So let's wrap this up quickly. Again, we're looking at ice storm warning across northern Illinois, eastern Iowa, and we're looking at winter storm warnings into Wisconsin. This is just from this first wave. The second wave is still yet to come. So let's just go into central Wisconsin and see what the advisory has to say, and see, what maybe not what the warnings have to say, but the advisories. That's also important. Just because you're not under a warning doesn't mean you shouldn't be taking precautions. This is definitely still potential for devastation. With this ice that we're expected here in northern Illinois, we could be looking at some significant icing. You could see 1 to 2 inches for central to southern Wisconsin, but the icing will be fairly significant. And this is actually what they have the ice accumulations for that second event, the second round. You could see equally as great. So this could almost pile up 1 to 2 inches of ice. We could see of freezing rain, which would just be ridiculous. But it's definitely possible, especially when you have two waves, one after the other. So let's go to the ice storm warning, and let's see, how much significant, or how much icing is probably in forecast. So they have significant ice accumulations of 1/10 to almost half an inch, rates moderate to heavy. So this is not good. They're definitely not good. And you could see this is how freezing rain forms. They have a nice graphic here. There's warm layer, fairly deep layer of warm layer, and the snowflakes melt, and they don't refreeze while they're coming back, but they melt, or they freeze on contact. Sleet starts snowing up into the north in several thousand feet in elevation. There's a very shallow warm layer and changes to rain. However, it doesn't melt all the way and changes back to these hard ice crystals. And snow is just completely all the way when it's no warm air in the atmosphere. So let's go to windy.com. This is what I want to show out. So this is the European model. I use this website for my European model. Let's quickly check relatively short. So this is the European model, and still very similar amounts. Again, not showing what the NAM was showing with that weird amount of snow in South Dakota. Like I mentioned, fairly widespread, 4 to 5 inches of snow. If we click on any of those locations, 3.5, 4 inches. That's probably what's going to happen. And as we get on into Minnesota and Wisconsin, it gets amounts up to a foot of snow are definitely not out of the question. You could see 10 inches over there. Let's go to the next 5 days. And not much more snow adds on to the Midwest, but let's zoom into the West. I really want to point this out to you guys. Look, next 10 days, look at that. Almost every square mile in Oregon will be seeing some snow. So Portland doesn't usually see that much snow during the winter, but look, during the next 10 days, the European model was showing this yesterday as well, and it's continuing to show this. Look at this. Potentially over a foot of snow in Portland. That is absolutely ridiculous. That would cripple the city. Again, this would be over the 10 period time frame, but that's still a lot. Sometimes you don't even get that much throughout several years of time frame. And look, Seattle potentially as well, 12 inches of snow. This is very, very high amounts, and this is something not to be, taken without precautions. The Northwest has been absolutely been getting slammed by snow and rain. So has California been, and they need that because the reservoirs in the springtime, the snow melts and it fill up with that water, and that's the water that they use for the rest of the year. And no one really predicted it. I know. I admit that I did not predict so much rain and snow for the Northwest until it was already too late, like November, December. But in my early winter forecast, I did not think that the Northwest would be really seeing that much precip this year. But they are, and it's not completely unusual since it's an El Nino. But there were several factors early on. Maybe a Madokai, maybe a weak El Nino was showing that it could stay dry, but it has prevailed, and now very very great amounts of snow are expected for uh for the Northwest. And you can see even later on, it's the East maybe starts getting a little bit more active. North Carolina's, Virginia, and up the Northeast coast, we could be looking at some events. So stay tuned. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I love you, and I'll catch you all guys in the next episode. See ya. Bye.